Great, fantastic, we're online. Still connecting to Twitch. There we go, we're online on YouTube. Welcome to Savvy Gadgetz again for today. Slight technical hitch, so starting even later than usual. Welcome. And don't forget, you can take the red pill. There you go, it's more of an orange. Yeah, here we go again. You can go for the red pill. It looks kind of pink and orange in this light. And you can like and subscribe to Savvy Gadgetz and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And or you can take the blue pill, where you can like and subscribe and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Or you can just take both of them and eat them because they're very nice sweeties. And get the sweetie sugary goodness out of them. Right, so, yeah, right, okay, so back to basics with Project Zomboid this week. I've pretty much got everything where I want it to be, if you see what I mean. Cooking is going well, foraging is going well. Trapping is my biggest bugbear ever. That's not going well, but it is kind of working. Obviously, mechanics is getting better. Electronics, I've got to work on electronics at some point. I'm going to start off by sort of like going through the basics of everything so that it's apparent to everybody how to actually play the game. I might even cover some first aid. So, because I don't think I've done that before. Right, so this is my base. As you can see, I have a rather interesting card collection. And this is my water supply. I will explain that shortly. I do have some very basic mouse traps. It looks like a lot like my trousers need fixing. I don't actually have any fabric to do that with. I've got some basic mouse traps here, which add bait. The best bait we've got is chocolate. Chocolate works really well with mouse traps as cheese. Cheese tends to go off those, so we'll add some bait in the world of chocolate. Hopefully we'll get something in those by the end of the session. No, not the cockroach, the chocolate. Add bait chocolate. There we go. Let's put the chocolate back. Now the problem with chocolate is it tends to run out, so it's not a very viable source of trap food. And I don't think there's actually a natural replacement that you can put in it that attracts mice or rats to actually give you any food. So we'll check out our other traps. And what we'll also do is we'll start off, I'll explain the foraging system. So foraging has changed for build 41 recently, and the way that it now works is previously you would right click on the ground and you'd get the option to forage, and there would be certain areas you could do that in, and that's not the case anymore. Now you use this investigate area, this magnifying glass icon on the UI on the left hand side, and then you can enable the search mode. Now depending on the picture that's in that window depends on what you're going to get. So the first thing to do is this one is its vegetation, or this could be low rural, and you'll find materials and food, animals, they're all common, but materials are more common than food and animals. It can be a bit of a swine to get food here, but it does, you can and it does. And you may find other rare things. Now, foraging is affected by your mood. It's affected by the dark, so whether it's light or dark, daytime or nighttime, and whether it's raining, or that sort of thing. So all those sort of things come into play when you're foraging. But you can enable it with the enable search mode, and what happens is you get this sort of like fuzzed out area. So whilst you're in the dark, that fuzzed out area is really difficult to spot at night. If you do happen to be foraging at night, any zombies that are around you, whereas in the daytime you can still see them. So it's always good to have a weapon to hand. But what will happen as you walk around is at some point you will get like a little icon, a little eye icon above the head of your character saying that they've spotted something. You can also check out these traps over here, which look like they still don't have anything in them. Not doing very well with them. Still got bait in them. That's always good. So I've got a couple of negative moodlets here. I'm peckish, I'm thirsty, and I'm overloaded for some reason. Because like there isn't a lot. Maybe it's because I'm hungry. So I've got some other traps down here somewhere, hiding amongst the trees. Ah, there we go. Right, so usually I bait these with worms, and That usually does the trick. Oh, I think that one's gone. So cockroaches don't tend to work. Right, there was an eye icon over here somewhere. There it is. Right, so character's found something. You can see the eye, and then it pops up on there. It says, "Hey, look, you found this." You can left click on it to pick it up, or you right click to say, "I want to actually put it in a different bag." So there you go. I've now picked up another cockroach. We'll move that one over there to join its friend, and that would be why I'm overloaded. I've got tons of cabbage with me. Right, so if we continue to move through and keep an eye on the window here, if we get too close to the lake, if we just bundle down here, what you will see is you'll see that there's the sort of, it changes to lots of question marks, and that means you're not going to find anything. However, if you move into sort of denser, deeper forests, this will change to forest, and it will say the materials are more abundant, food is still common, animals are rare, and other things like medicinal plants are rare, and others are extremely rare. Now, I have found all sorts of interesting things whilst foraging, like cologne, as Super Toe Man has quite rightly pointed out. I needed cologne because I stink, because I haven't had a wash for a very long time. Well, at least the carrots, right? Not me personally. I've found empty gas cans and propane torch and all sorts. So foraging isn't just for food, but that's it, is it? For foraging, let's turn that off with the end key. So I use foraging a lot. It helps me survive out in a rural. It is very useful in towns now, because whereas before it really did do anything. You do actually find dead animals to butcher. So if you get like a rat or a bird or a squirrel, found those in towns. So if you look at the food in my fridge, and not that my fridge is working, mind you. Yes, it does seem a bit sort of backwards, doesn't it? It's like you can find birds, squirrels, and rats. Rats I can understand. Birds I can understand. Squirrels not so much, although I live in a reasonably rural area anyway, and we get quite a few squirrels, and even then, when I lived in a not so rural area, you didn't really see squirrels in the town. So it doesn't kind of make sense. You're quite right. So let's have a look. I did have some birds. So by butchering, so if you've got a knife, so whether it's a carving knife or a kitchen knife or a hunting knife or even a machete, you can basically butcher rats, birds and squirrels into usable game meat for using in roasting pans. And that brings us nicely on to cooking. So we've got some rotten meat here, some rotten fish. So what we'll do is we'll get rid of that, and what we'll do is we'll eat one of those roasty things. We'll just put this out into our compost heap. Now the compost heap's really good because what it actually does is it produces worms. You don't have to go digging around for them. Farming, if you're doing farming, you've got a trowel, you're digging up the ground. That will also give you food. So, right, let's have a look here. Let's actually get rid of a lot of that. Don't need all of that. Cabbage fresh. I can actually go in on roast, that's the thing. You can actually create a roast meal out of just vegetables. Just create a roast vegetables. One of the best ways to keep cooking, though, is if you're foraging, is to use berries or mushrooms that you find from foraging. And if you have a bowl, an empty bowl here, and again a knife, what you can do is you can create yourself a salad or a fruit salad, and that'll actually give you a happiness rating, so it helps keep your mood up, which is also important, because otherwise your character falls into depression. So eating regular meals. So what we'll do is quickly create a salad from random fruits. Hopefully it will be one of the fresh ones. And you can see here it's giving an unhappiness of -5. So it's actually cheering me up eating this meal. So that's what we'll do. And if we check out some of the meals that we've got in the fridge, like these ones, these are unhappiness -10. So what we'll do is we'll eat one of those, and then we'll actually create a roast. It can do, yeah. Yeah, the great outdoors and all of that. Now, I'll also have a drink because I'm thirsty, so hungry and thirsty. And I'll show how this whole plumbing idea works as well. Right, so before we do that, so empty bowl, knife, berries, mushrooms. Create a salad of some description with that. You can add salt and honey and peppers as spices and that sort of thing, and that will also add to the happiness. So let's go with this empty roasting pan that we've got in our inventory. So I can create from a random game, random fish. Didn't think I actually had any fish, to be honest. I thought all the fish that we had was dead. I'll go for a random game. So that's taken the bird, that's going to cut it up, and then we've got a roast. I've still got some left, so I can create another roast from that. So we'll do that, go create a roast from random game. So we now have 2, and then we can add random vegetables. There we go. So we've now got a fresh meat roast with random vegetables, and another one that's just added some cabbage. It's a bird meat and cabbage roast. Now, as you can see, these will give us a hunger of -30, which is really good. It'll actually decrease our thirst, and it will decrease our unhappiness. Now, in previous videos, I've been and half-inched from somewhere this lovely stove to cook on. So I'm going to bung that in there. Hopefully, I can then just light it. I think I might need some... Oh, I'll use the book, actually, because the book I've got in my inventory here is just nothing else. Oh, that's... No, I might let's save that, actually. So we can light it with ripped sheets and a lighter. There we go, we'll do that. Alright, so now we've got this. This actually heats the home as well, so which will be useful for us when the winter seasons come round. Right, now, I saw the question is how many days have I survived? So I'll check this. And I have survived for 2 months and 25 days with this character. And that's going really well. You can see she's a bit tattered and torn. She needs some new trousers. Skills are doing well. Health, she's okay. You can see on this protection where she's badly protected. This is where the trousers. Could probably do with a new jacket or something. Nothing on her head. No, nothing on her hands. We've got no gloves on. That's unusual. Let's check on our roast. Now, these take a while to cook. But that's fine. I don't think that's the case. I think if you cut down a tree, you only get the logs. Which is an interesting point, because previously, when you were foraging, if you were in the... if you were level 7, you would only get logs then. Because it's changed, you can find logs in forest areas before you hit level 7. So I don't know quite how the level of foraging equates to how you're going to find food or not. I mean, that's going to be an interesting experiment, I think, because I've got some low-level characters here in this base, so I could always use those. But I'll be interested to see just how... Not that one. Skills, because like foraging isn't far off level 9. It's only a couple of hundred. So I might take foraging as far as you can see. By trapping just doesn't work. It does trapping. We're just not friends. Me and trapping. So anyway, I've got a nice cup of tea today. No Red Bull or Relentless or Monsters or Blue Spark or Blue Kick or whatever else it is. Oh, I really don't feel like having fizzy drinks, to be honest. Not after yesterday. I felt really bad. Right, so grab those, and we've got some lovely food to eat, and then we put the fire out, save the fuel for later, and we'll put these in here. Right, so foraging is also a good source of seeds now. I keep finding, see this says seedling broccoli wild. Now I can add that into food, and yes, that is a really nice effect. That was like sort of like spreads out the light a little bit, and it's like that also sort of I guess indicates the area of heat. So I've got in here a seedling broccoli. That's where I got my seeds for broccoli from. But obviously I've got my seeds from other areas, from laundering packets and stuff. We're actually going to do some more harvesting when we can. We're going to leave a couple of bits to go fallow. Now you can see my farming. There's my farming. My farming's actually gone up 2 levels, and that was from just growing 1 row of cabbages. So that was quite good. So farming goes up pretty quick. Okay, let's talk about plumbing. Right, so this is a 1-story level building, which actually gave me a more difficult problem when trying to get water. If we just step outside in the dark, because for some reason it's 4 o'clock in the morning still. Actually, I'll come back to that because it's so dark. Let's check on my plants. See how they're doing. Info. There we go. Well watered, flourishing, growing phase young, so that's okay. Not ready for harvesting yet. Young carrots, they're still doing well. Okay, so it looks like we've got a fair bit of fruit to come. I'm hoping carrots will work better in the traps than the cabbage, because the cabbage just doesn't seem to be working well at all. So I'll go and check my traps again. Hopefully by that time it'll actually be a bit brighter. It's cold and it's windy. Alright, so that's a no-go with that one. And a no-go with that one. And that one's actually saying I can't remove the bait. I only think carrots are going to work with that, to be honest. I'm not I used to watch snooker a lot. And I used to play a lot of snooker. I used to live in a town where we actually had a snooker hall. And I used to play a lot. I used to be a member and I used to play a lot of snooker. I used to play a lot of pool as well in pubs and that. I actually won a few competitions, as it happens. But you know, moved out to the sticks and there's nothing like that around there anymore. And so, to be honest, the snooker hall that I used to go to was knocked down and turned into a set of shops, which was then knocked down and turned into a Waitrose. So it's like that. Originally, that building used to be the cinema in the town. So yeah, I used to run that sort of underneath the snooker hall. There used to be like a fish and chip shop, a computer game store, the video rentals, or video rentals. Yeah, not Blockbuster, but something else. Back in the day, it always makes me laugh when you see. Cause I was watching, we did like a Marvel movie marathon over Christmas, and we was watching Captain Marvel. And Captain Marvel, when she comes to Earth, she actually falls and lands into what was an old Blockbuster. And it's like I can imagine people going, "What the hell's that? What the hell's Blockbuster? What do they sell?" They're like, "Yeah." I remember Henry back in the day. He was unbeatable. Before him, it was Steve Davis. So like the people that used to play back in the band was Terry Griffiths, Ray Reardon, Jimmy White, Hurricane Higgins. Yeah, all of that. Yeah, that was a long time ago. But yeah, so nothing in the traps. One of these traps needed a worm, didn't it? Doesn't matter. Like I say, me and trapping, we're not best friends anyway. Right, so that one needs a worm. Right, okay. So traps are doing now. Yeah, honestly, I don't think cabbage wild didn't work. I don't think we're getting anything out of cabbage, or grown cabbage for that fact, which is a bit disappointing. But yeah, oh, that farming's going well, I think. So let's grab a worm. Then Haha! Fantastic. Correct fruit salad for us. I'm going to have to... Oh, it's beginning to get daylight, sort of like 6 o'clock-ish in the morning. Eat the fruit salad. See, that gives us an unhappy. Yes, it's 5. Eat that, so that will keep us going. Keep the food and hunger and the thirst at bay. Okay, so we'll wait for it to actually get a little bit lighter. Let's do a little bit of foraging around this area. As you can see, it's really difficult. It's more difficult. Let's see if we can find anything. We're not finding anything at the minute. I like the way in a couple of months the trees and that seem to have sprouted completely from nothing. And I'm now practically in a dense forest. There you go. Oh, there's a cricket. That'll do. That's good for fishing. We'll do fishing later. And just if you ignore it or pick it up, you still get XP. Doesn't matter. In a couple of days of foraging, I should be up to the next level, I think. Depending on what I find. If I find a few zombies, I might actually get some new trousers. Alright, so there we go. What have we got there? Haha! Right, okay, so this is a seedling carrot. So if we just pick it up. Right, so by picking that up. Oh, it's carrots, wild, fresh. Didn't actually give me didn't give me seeds. That's annoying. Oh, maybe I can use that in one of my traps. That might work. It's fresh. I think that's the important part. Fresh carrot. See if that yields any game meat. But it's like usually if it comes up it says it's a seedling carrot or it's a seedling broccoli, then you will actually get seeds out of it. And you can then plant them and grow more. Which is very useful. Eat on the run. Okay, so no joy here at the moment. Should be in an area where things low level light doesn't really help. Add bait. Grasshopper. Why can't I add the carrot? Surely the carrot is by far one of the best things to add to that. Oh, nothing there. Still, let's go and bait our other trap. It's always good to check your traps a couple of times today. Right, so that one still had bait. This one needed a worm. Okay, let's see what we can find in the way of booty. Quick drink. Try and keep the moodlets down. Just realised I've actually got my headphones on. I can't hear anything going on in the game. Busy nattering away, that's my problem. Oh, hello. What's that? I saw that eye pop up. Question is where? Try around these trees. Alright, okay, red herring. Oh, hello. What's this? This is a dead rat. Fantastic. Now, there was an update today, so I wonder whether they've swapped something around, because I haven't found dead meat in the field before. So, maybe they heard your criticism, Supertone. So let's butcher the small animal. There we go. And then that gives us rodent meat fresh cooked, which we can now add to a roast or some other. I'm actually going to have a go at a stew today and see what that does, because I always do roasts, and I do have the option of creating a stew out of vegetables and that. I want to see the difference, see whether that gives you a much happier or a more filling meal. Cockroach again. You can eat cockroaches and crickets and things like that, but not a good idea. Twigs, yeah, we'll take some twigs, because we need to light our fire. Pick up a few branches as well, to be honest. But you can see all of these little trees growing. It won't be long before this is actually a forest rather than just a vegetation area. Berries. Berries are good. So it's sort of like 8 o'clock now, the light's just coming up. And full visibility, bit peckish. Do one more sweep back and forth, see what we can find. And I am very devoid of zombies around this. This is good. This is why I always say having a base out in the sticks is so much easier than, you know, being in the town where zombies just congregate. Depending on, does depend on the settings for the mode you're playing in. You can actually evenly distribute zombies between rural and you know, towns. Do really well for bait at the minute. Between rural areas and towns, so there's an even spread of zombies. Doesn't seem to be the case for this particular one. I'm on Builder, which is always good. I like the way I walked up here earlier and there was nothing, and now there's a chipstone. Don't want that. I do actually still have a fair few spears. The hell is that? Potatoes! Ah, potato. Potato seeds. Right, so this time we picked up a potato mold and got some potato seeds out of it. Which is also useful because I can now plant those and grow potatoes. Foraging is a lot more useful than it used to be. Right, so now that it's daylight, what we'll talk about is plumbing. Right, so it's a foregone conclusion that during the apocalypse that electricity and water turns off. So unless you've got a generator and you're running a generator, your fridge isn't actually going to keep your food fresh. I don't have any electricity, even though I have a generator. I'm sort of working up to that because obviously that consumes petrol and fuel. So now that the electricity and the water have run out, I still actually have access to drinking water. And the reason I do that, the reason I've got that, is because this sink is actually plumbed into the water barrels that are on the level above. Now, if you think of it like this, if you've got like a water barrel in the middle, so there's your sink, and then you've got the next square and the next square and the next square and the 8 squares around it. If you put a water barrel in any of those 8 squares on the level above, so, and I'll show you those, then you get, and this is the important thing, you could use any wrench previously, but you actually have to have now a actual pipe wrench. and then holding the pipe wrench in your hands or having it in your inventory, and the water barrel above. So let's go and take a look at that. So this is what made it difficult for me, because this is a single-story house. If this had been a two-story house, I wouldn't have had to build my carpentry up so much, because my carpentry had to be up to level 6 to build the stairs, rather than level 4 just to build the water barrel. So up here on the side of the building, and it's actually plumbed into this one, not those two, so it only uses one of those three. These are just there for extra board courses. So once you've actually got one of these up there, and your sink is underneath, you use that pipe wrench to plumb it in. It actually uses the water from this, and it comes out as fresh water. So that's how you get plumbing going. So I guess the next thing to talk about is mechanics. I've got so many cars laying around. So the very basics of mechanics. Before you even start mechanics, you actually need to read 3 of the magazines, or one of the 3 magazines, depending on the cars that you're going to be dealing with. And if I look in this rack here, it's these 3 manuals. It's the Lane's Auto manuals that always starts with that, and it's like the commercial, the performance, and standard. So obviously, if you're dealing with the commercial vehicles, which is what I've got outside, then you only need to read the commercials models version. So then you can actually start doing mechanics. Then once you've read the relevant magazine, what you can do is you can go out to your car, and at the very start, you'll only be able to do a few things with mechanics as it goes, successfully anyway. So you go at the front of your car, or just an area where it lights up green, and hit vehicle mechanics. That'll bring up a little window. As you can see, this car is utterly ruined, mostly because I've been experimenting with it a lot. And so to start off with, you can take out the radio, so you uninstall. And we'll just have a look at the skills for mechanics. I'm on 2.75. You do not get a lot of experience from this. And then you can then reinstall it. And it's now gone up by 1.25. Yay! It's nothing. It's really difficult to get your mechanics up. You can also do batteries, and then you can do the lights. Now I'm level 2, so I wonder what else I can do now. Might need an extra tool, to be honest. So we can install the car battery again, and again it goes up from 4 to 6.5. So we've gained 2.5 from uninstalling and reinstalling the battery. Now, considering to reach the next goal is going to take me 300 XP points, and I'm only getting 2.5 for the battery, you can see where it's going to take a long time. And you can't just sit here and take it out, put it in, take it out, put it in, take it out, put it in, and it builds it up. It's every day. You have to do it once a day. So it's the same with lights. You just go uninstall, 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 uninstall. Plus, cars are a good place to actually do metalwork. If you've got a propane torch, you can actually fix like bonnets and things like that. You can repair with screws, sheet metals, and that kind of thing. So that'll help get your metalwork going. So tail light, light bulb 1, light bulb 2, light bulb 3, and light bulb 4. So there we go. What else can we do on level? Right, okay, so other tools you'll need once you've, because all you need is a basic screwdriver. Other tools you'll need to do things like tyres and suspension and other bits and pieces, you'll need a wrench. So if I look in the back of this vehicle, so you need a wrench, a lug wrench and a jack. The jack lifts the car up, lug wrench takes the tyres off, wrench does other bits and pieces. So let's grab the jack, grab a lug wrench, not 2 lug wrenches because they're heavy. See whether we can actually uninstall the tyre. Okay, cool, so that's something else that we can do. I don't think you actually get anything for that though, from an experience point of view, which is a bit bad. So taking that off. Okay, maybe. Uninstall a value tyre, put a value tyre back on. That was 19. Now it's back on. I'm on 21, so yeah, that does work. Brakes. Recipe. So for brakes you need the wrench. And recommended skill is 6, and I'm only 2, so could be a while. And again, there, see muffler. See, everything else seems to require lots and lots and lots of experience. Eye levels. What on earth was that noise? Driver's seat. That I can uninstall as well. That's always good. Have actually broken one of the seats doing this. And then install it. And then hopefully by doing this on a daily basis, it'll more quickly build up your skills in mechanics. So today it's gone up by 25 by doing all of that. Right, so there we go, that's the basics of mechanics. There we go. Let's put the jack and the lug wrench back because that's slowly hurting me. And I'm very hungry. I might actually take those water barrels down and bring them down here actually. Because they're not plumbed in. Still nothing in our traps there. You can see that they're actually still not flipped. So eat one of me roasts. Have a drink whilst we're here as well. And then we'll grab my fishing gear and go fishing. Now there's two ways of fishing. You can either fish with a fishing rod, and you can make your own fishing rods provided, again, you've read the right magazines. Angler 1 and 2 I think there is. I've got those, I'll show you those in a second. Roast pan, let's put the roast pan back in there, and the rodent meat for later on. Water bottle goes in there, try and keep things tidy. Let's put some twigs here on the floor. Potatoes, potatoes. Have the seeds in there. That's good. And I guess I'll put the food over here. So I do have ample supply of canned food, so I am not going to go hungry anytime soon. Right, so fishing. Fishing's quite difficult actually because you either, if you haven't read the angling magazine, so there are two magazines here, Angler 1 and 2, and the first one, volume 1, gives you the ability to make a fishing rod and fix fishing rods, whereas the second one, it teaches you to make fishing nets and then get wire back from a fishing net, and that's another metalwork skill. So if you've got wire and a propane torch, you can create a fishing net. And what that will do is that'll actually net you small bait fish, which you can then do fishing with. At least that's how it used to work. Right, so I've got a makeshift fishing rod here. Right, so one thing I want to point out, you might notice that I've got, oh that's rotten, let's get rid of that. I've got frogs here. Now frogs are really useful actually. Yeah, I'm getting round to that, Supertone. So frogs are really useful. I find these foraging, and because they're a source of meat, you can actually butcher them. But this is the really useful thing about it, is if you've got the frog as it is unbutchered, it will live for God knows how long. You just put it on a spot and it stays there. And then when you're actually desperately short of meat, you can always butcher a frog. So as I collect frogs, they stay there, and just in case I need some fresh meat any now and again. Right, so to make a fishing rod, you need a sturdy stick, which you make from a plank, and these are useful for repairing fishing rods if they happen to break. Fishing line again, or twine. You will need twine to make a hook, to make the line, or if you can find fishing line, even better. Tackle is always useful. Increases the chance of fish to catch a fishing rod before use. Okay, great. Oh, we'll use some tackle then. I've not had fishing tackle before. This is all new. Twine. Where's my twine? Don't need the magazine. Don't need the steady stick. Got some of that. I'll pick up my twine as well, and then that helps me repair. I'll take some fishing line too, because twine's actually useful. Twine's one of those things that's really useful in a lot of situations. The very first trapping that you can do, provided you find the magazine, which I haven't. Trapping Volume 1, Hunter Volume 1. Sorry, I've got Hunters 2 and 3, which teach you the recipes for the box traps and the twig traps, and what else did it do? Cage traps, box traps, wooden cage trap and sticks traps. Those are the ones that I'm using. Mouse traps you just find in around towns and in sheds and things like that. Tony, yes, you're absolutely right, and I'm about to demonstrate such a thing. So I've got all of my fishing tackle. I've got my fishing rod, but if you can't find that, as Supertone and Tony have quite appropriately said, you can actually spearfish. So I do actually have a spear, and the spear I've actually made. Again, this is from foraging with chipstone and a tree branch, and provided you've got a sharp knife, you can create a spear. Now, spears are really useful. They're a good defensive weapon. They don't last very long if you're not very good at carpentry and if their conditions are not very good. So you walk up to a body of water, which is why I'm near a body of water. This is one of the things why I specifically chose this location. You choose fishing on the water, and I've actually got a choice. I've actually got a proper fishing rod as well. When did that happen? I think that could be a lie. Let's go as fishing rod, fishing rod. Oh, I've got 2 fishing rods. Oh, okay, fine, great, lovely. That's what I've always wanted. Right, so you've then got the choice. If you've got a spear and you don't have a fishing rod, you can still go fishing by just walking up to the body of water and say, hey, look, actually I want to put what I catch in, and then you press OK, and then your character will stand there and start stabbing at the water, just like so. And every now and again, they will actually catch a fish. And it's the way that I started doing fishing, because I didn't have access to a fishing rod. I didn't have any twine, I didn't have any paper clips or nails, and I didn't have any tree branches. I couldn't make a fishing rod. So spearfishing was the only way that I could do it. So, but if you don't want to do spearfishing, you do actually have a fishing rod. So you walk up to the body of water, and if you click on the right bit, go fishing. You can now choose a fishing rod and the bait that you want. So I'm actually going to go with fishing tackle, see what that does, because I've not used fishing tackle before, so this could be quite interesting. I'm going to go. Now, fishing's been a useful source of food, has to be said, over the period of time that I've been playing this character. I don't think. I thought you had to have a fishing tackle and still have a bait. Now, eventually you do catch things. It does take time. So usually what I do is I just hit speed up on this one and then be mindful of being caught out by a zombie here and there. Although your fishing rod does make a weapon, it's not a good thing to use as a weapon because it breaks pretty much instantly. Which is why it's always useful to do spearfishing, I guess, because then you've still got your spearing end. Now, my fishing skill isn't particularly high at the moment. Could be the wrong time of day, and it is late-ish. Catching absolutely nothing at the minute. Oh, I've run out of tackles. There we go. So all of my tackle's gone, and it's now using the cockroach, and it will move on to the crickets, the grasshoppers that I've got in my inventory, which I've all picked up from foraging. You could use worms from the compost as well. Oh, got one. Small catfish. Which is... there it is. So using a knife you can slice this into fillets and then use them in roasts. Let's get another one. Oh, I found some socks. Yay. I'm saved. Contain my excitement about that one. So anyway, hi Tony. Welcome to the channel. Going through the basics of Project Zomboid. Covering over cooking, fishing, trapping, mechanics, foraging, because the foraging has changed in the new one. Alright, another catfish, here we go. Slightly bigger, still got some socks. I always use those to actually light fires with. Oh, right, okay, got a small carpy as well, or a small crappie. That's what it says. I mean, that should actually keep me going for a few days, so I'll actually pack that in there. Let's get over the fence. Getting hungry and thirsty, so back home. Cook another roast up. Like I say, I might actually try a stew, see what a stew does. And create some roast, create a stew, see what that does. So let's get my drinking water. Drink. And then we will eat the roast that we've got, so that we've got plenty of food. So we've got fish, which we can slice and fillet, all those three. Looks like I caught a little bait fish as well. Right, so I now have the option of fish fillets. Actually, let's get rid of all my fishing tackle always sits here over in the corner. Right, so fishing, twine, sturdy stick. I always got a spear with me because that's my main line of weaponry at the moment. Try not to use my really good weapons. Okay, so let's create a roast. We'll go for random game. So fresh meat, rodent meat, fantastic. To increase the happiness of that, I think we can actually add a random fish. So that now is 10. We can add some random vegetables. Let's go with a potato. Let's just cook the potato. There we go. So that's now 15. So I've added 2 meats and a vegetable. And if I added a, assuming I've got one somewhere, salt as a spice. That's now 17. So that's not the highest I've had it, but let's see. Let's do another roast. Create a roast, random vegetables. So this is just a vegetable roast at the minute. Oh, that's fish fillet. And can add another fish. So at the moment it's 5. So we add another fish. So that's still 5. That's unfortunate. So add a vegetable. So different types of meat. Could have been an unusual bit of meat actually. Right, so that's 10. So we've got 2 roasts. So with our big cooking pots, we can create a soup from fish and vegetables. So we'll do that. Create soup. Oh, but not that one. That one's rotten. Look, can't use that. Fish, filleted fish, rotten and cooked. So let's get rid of it. Put it in there. Right, so cooking pot with water. Create soup. Let's see how we get on with that. Right, fish fillet soup and happiness greatly decreases thirst. Add a random vegetable. See if that increases the happiness. Again, that's gone up happiness-wise now. So let's create a stew from a random fish. This is really beginning to hurt my back. As you can see, the moodlet item is an extremely heavy load. So that's stew. Add a random vegetable. So all of those are increasing happiness or thirst. So it's taking away one of those things. Right, let's go to the thing here. Bung them in. There we go. And then we can light with the twigs and the light. I can always use the socks. Haha, hello Bella. My dog Bella has just pushed her way in through the door. Now I'm expecting the stews to cook a lot quicker than the roasts. The roasts do take longer. Now the great thing is I can make another stew or another soup if I wanted to, because I've got that fresh plumbed in water. I've got access to fresh water. I'll have to check on my plants tomorrow, see whether or not they're still freshly watered or not. But as I've previously stated when doing cooking, cooking is your path to happiness in the game. It staves off depression and unhappiness in general, basically. It just keeps you cheerful and very chipper in game. You alright, Belle? Good dog. So this will give us food for... yeah, I've got 4, actually. Got 4 dogs. But I'm Bella's favourite, so she quite often comes and sits with me. Our other dog, Poppy, she's epileptic. I don't think she's going to be around too much longer, because she's really bad on her feet and her legs, and she's finding it difficult to walk. Then we've got Lenny, who's an Australian Shepherd. Bella's a black lab. Poppy's a brown collie lab cross, so she's a chocolate lolly. Lenny's an Australian Shepherd, and Jet's a black lab. Jet is also mildly epileptic, whereas Poppy is very epileptic. Poppy's actually having a good year this year. She hasn't actually had any major seizures. Oh, that one's burning. Grab that one. And then when this one's done, there we go, and put out the fire. I said put out the fire. Well, we said we'd have 1. Ended up with 4. It's like, I always wanted, because like Lenny is an Australian, because he's an Australian Shepherd, he's actually got the markings of like a Burmese mountain dog, so he's black, white and tan. He's an absolutely gorgeous looking dog. So yeah, whereas the 2 black labs, well, they're black labs. Black labs are just lovely. Right, let's get some sleep. Poppy's original name was Daphne, because she was born on D-Day. And all of the pups in her litter, because they were all born on D-Day, all got D starting names. But we changed it to Poppy. Yeah, that's kind of a problem if you're in apartments. There's quite strict rules around keeping animals in apartments, because they can be very messy and destructive. Plus, you know, they do have a habit of making the place smell of dog. Let's face it. Right, so nothing in our traps there. This is beginning to get disappointing. As I said, me and trapping, we're not best friends. I think water levels are fine. Like, this might be a good opportunity to actually take the water out of those butts at the top and move those water butts down here. So I've got my watering can. Right, so you can see this watering can is a watering can with water tainted, and it's tainted because it's come from those barrels at the top. Now the water in those is tainted, but once it's plumbed into a sink, it's not. It magically filters itself. So let's grab that, and then we can water. And water, and then I still need to, if we can empty one of those barrels, I can actually dismantle the thing. And that's going to be something that I do today, I think. Even if I just empty them and I've done with it. Yeah, the water in these barrels up here is considered tainted. So, you know, if you drink from it, it says tainted water. Comes up with a little red caption. Tainted water, unsafe for drinking, sterilised by boiling in an oven or over a fire. But once it, like so, it's my sink is plumbed into this one on the end. And it gives you exactly the same one, saying, hey, this water's tainted. And if you put it into the watering can, it says it's tainted. But as soon as you get it out of the tap says, hey, yeah, this water's absolutely fine to drink. Probably because it's actually, even though you say, oh, I'm plumbing it in, because it's taking it from the tap, it's saying, oh, yeah, tap water's fine. And if you're drinking from a tap, then you don't have any problems. It's okay. Everything's fine. You know, see what I could do. There's an idea. Perhaps I could put one of those barrels over here, above my. Because can I actually walk on the roof here? Yeah, I can. Okay. Oh, actually, I can fall down through the ceiling. Look at that. That hurt. Minor damage. Nothing broken. We're okay. We're good. We're good. Might have to build some substructures for that one then. But what I was saying is, if I put a barrel here and a barrel here, I could have drinking water there, drinking water there. There's an idea. Right, so anyway, let's try not to fall down through the roof this time. If I just damaged the roof by walking on it. Okay, so fill the watering can. There we go. And what we'll do is we'll go water our plants, and then what I'm gonna empty that stuff out and move those barrels down there. This one doesn't seem to need anything. Water 24%, there we go. Check on my carrots. And my carrots saying that their water level's fine, but we're just going to water them anyway. Now if it rains, that's fine. Oh, pest, flies. You need an insect spray. Right, so that's a new problem. Not come across that before. Now I can actually make treat problem pest flies. Okay, This is new for farming. Now, farming I haven't done a lot of. Now, I've always suspected that poisonous berries have been used for making some kind of treatment, and you can actually make a treatment. Make fly cure, water. What? Cigarettes? Oh, okay. I don't have any cigarettes, I don't think. Water 3 units, cigarettes, and an empty gardening spray can. Oddly enough, I think I've got one of those somewhere. One of the weirdo things that I just happen to have picked up. I'm not sure I've got cigarettes, though. Let's check the floor here. Let's just shut the door that Bella opened. Right. Might be in one of the cars, because I'm still using the cars as a dumping ground at the minute. Okay. Not there. Okay, must be in one of the cars. Right, we need something to eat. So what we'll do is we will have our fine cabbage stew. Love the way it's just like eating it rather than drinking it. And what we'll do is we'll put the cooking pot back in there. It's just an empty cooking pot. I've got 2 with water. Right, there's a little rotten fish there. Let's get rid of that. And then go and have a rummage in our cars. I honestly thought poisoned. Yeah, well, exactly. It's like the poisonous berries. I would have thought was you pick them up from foraging would have been more useful for that kind of thing, but apparently not. It's all news to me. Let's get in here. Okay, I've actually got the key for that, so why I can't get into it, I don't know. Actually looking in the wrong cars, am I? Don't think it's in the back of that one. These ones I didn't really do a lot with. It's going to be this pink one, which has a tree growing out of it. Fantastic! There is gardening spray can. But honestly, I don't think I picked up cigarettes. Even by accident, I don't think I've picked them up, which is a bit disappointing. Let's take the lug wrench and the jack. I picked a lot of things up by accident. I'm going to put those 2 bits, the jack and the lug wrench, in the back of this motor, so I know I've got them. Trying to keep all of my stuff there. Yeah, it's like the tree, like you find a bike that's been enveloped by a tree somewhere. Okay, so nothing there. I may actually have to go looking for cigarettes. Who knew? Oh, there's a large backpack there. I didn't know I had that. That holds 27 compared to my 22. Okay, that might be worth it. Tissues and the rose. Oh, guess I'm checking all my cars then. Definitely not those 2. Gunpowder, a cockroach and a screwdriver. That's always handy, I suppose. Check the glove boxes. Foundation makeup, nothing there. I don't think this one's got anything in it. Some food, a kitchen knife and some peanut butter. Well, I suppose to a larger degree that's kind of useful as you've actually got something that that is used. Oh, I've got an axe in there. Look, that's nice, Sandy. A cockroach. Wallet, lighter, matches. Oh, this isn't looking good. I've got an M16 assault rifle. Okay. Oh yeah, I found that out on the highway, didn't I? From those those zombies that were camped out. But I don't have any cigarettes. What a surprise! And I think I actually mentioned this before. The reason I don't have any cigarettes is because I'm actually myself as a person. I'm an ex-smoker. Gave up smoking years and years and years ago. So whenever I've come across cigarettes in the game, because no, I don't want those. It's working against me. It's like I don't smoke anymore. I don't need them. So let's go with this. Create ourselves a fresh carrot salad and eat that. It helps keep the unhappiness off, and that, oh dear, that's disappointing. I'd have thought I'd have at least picked them up by accident as well. Let's have a look in the cupboard. And the cupboards were bare, apart from bras and corsets, apparently. Lots of bras and corsets, and ties. Tights. Let's check out these cupboards. No, it's just not looking good, is it? I don't believe I've got to go looking for cigarettes. There's a fly cure. That's just wrong. I never really looked at it before. Oh, fantastic. Hey, SB, thank you very much. Thank you very much for a kind comment. I hope you're enjoying my channel. I hope you're enjoying my content. Welcome to Savvy Gadgets if you're first time here. I see I've got this nice star thing going on above my head just about here. There. It's the joys of my green screen going hideously wrong again. But wow, yeah, I ought to actually say to all the people, because I've had quite a few people join the channel recently, say thank you very much. Don't forget to follow us on Twitch as well. But yeah, no, it's absolutely great. I seem to have like quite an interesting influx of people joining my YouTube channel, which is fantastic. Thank you very much, SB, for letting me know. But yeah, so where are we? 2:30. So great. So we've actually covered quite a bit again today. We've covered trapping, although trapping as usual has been the bugbear. So we'll check my traps again. Nothing in the mouse traps, as you can see, they haven't triggered. Yeah, I mean, I know what I'm going to hunt for next. I'm going to hunt for some cigarettes. What? Let's turn on foraging so I can get a quick. Oh, that's something. Quick forage. Twigs, don't need twigs. Discard the twigs. Oh, 2 things. Wow. Right, so grape leaves you can eat, which is fine. And mushrooms. Now, mushrooms you can use, provided they're not poisonous. They're not. You can use those for salads. They will help keep you fed. Can I create a fruit salad from those? No, I can't. It's interesting. You can't create anything from those. Random vegetables. Let's go with that. Stave off the old hunger. So mushroom salad. Fantastic. Living off berries and mushrooms. Yeah, well, if you think about it, it's they're getting a lot more rare these days with the advent of vaping and that sort of thing. I actually gave up smoking cigarettes on April the 18th, 2006. I even remember the day. So, yeah. I'm just not getting any joy out of cabbage leaves from those traps. Those traps have actually done nothing. It might be a case of I need to move them. I will see if I can find a sort of like a best practices thing. I was like, don't use that, use this instead. Berries. Berries are always welcome, provided they're not poisonous. And they look okay. Right, what else can we find here? Oh, more mushrooms. Like I say, mushrooms and berries are always welcome. Foraging just went up. So we now have... That's good, that's really interesting. Where's the health thing? There we go, skills. So I now need to read the final book on foraging. And actually, I'm not entirely sure whether the circle of focus has changed or not. Just going to quickly drink from the... There, it says I'm overloaded. Why am I overloaded? Great leaves. Let's put the propane torch in there because I don't really need that. Hopefully my welding mask is still in there. I usually carry a few tools around with me. Screwdrivers, welding march, propane torch, hammer, that kind of thing. A saw. Actually I can probably bung those in the backpack and then that'll help relieve something. Put the bowl and the lighter and that in it. Now we haven't covered first aid, so I'll do a brief description of first aid. Now if you're fighting zombies and you get scratched or bitten, you need to bandage your character very quickly. So if you open up the health by pressing H, it will give you a list here on this dialogue of the injuries you've got, and you can right click and treat it. Depending on what it says, depends on how you treat it. If it says it's infected, you need to use something to sterilise it. You can use a sterilised bandage. You can make a sterilised bandage by ripping up clothes from the deceased zombies. So you can rip those up into cloth in what is referred to as a rag or a sheet. I can't find it now. Where's it gone? Have I lost it? Have I used them all? Ripped sheets. You can use ripped sheets. You can then disinfect them with disinfectant, and you can then turn that into a sterilised bandage. You can do the same with bandages using disinfectant to create a sterilised bandage, or you can use alcohol wipes if you find them in medical facilities to treat infected wounds. And you then bandage the wound with a bandage or adhesive bandages or ripped sheets, and that will help the wound. Now, the problem with being bitten by a zombie is you're also prone to zombification and infection from being turned into a zombie, and eventually you will die. So you have to sort of like make a call as to whether or not you think your character's going to survive or not from a bite or a deep laceration or a scratch. In easier modes, you can survive, but survival and apocalyptic mode, if you get bitten, it's generally the end of your character. It's much harder. And as one of the beginner tips, if you've never played Project Zomboid before, start on builder mode. Don't go straight for survival. Don't go for apocalypse mode. You won't live more than 5 minutes, and it's generally one of the problems that new players come across a lot, whereas they start playing the game, and because it's such an in-depth game, which what makes it great, it also makes it really difficult to get into to start off with. So whilst I've been standing here talking, right, so let's do a quick demo of that. I did do a hardcore survival mode years ago. So, okay, so we've got the option here, this zombie's wearing a t-shirt and a knee-length skirt. I can rip clothing, and that will turn that clothing into some ripped sheets for me. Hello, hello, I hear rumblings. Using my crafted spear. There we go, look at that, fantastic. It's the first zombie I've seen in this entire game today. So that one's dead. I've got a digital black watch, that's fantastic because I can then dismantle that. That increases my electronics. So we'll do that. Then pants. Let's check out the trousers. What trousers have I got on? Because I've got jeans and they're not looking too good. Might actually take those. Black frilly underpants. Fantastic. And a black strapless bra with frills. Fantastic. And a tank top. Right, so we actually can use that. Turn that into ripped sheets, which we can then use as bandages, which will then help our guy recover, or girl, depending on which character you've got. I think one's a girl with a name like Vanessa. I'm pretty sure it's a girl. Cricket. Right, so I know there's a house just here, so we're going to check this house out. See if we can find some cigarettes. Let's take the focus mode off. Now, I've been all over this house. You can see here's a zombie that I killed earlier. It's slowly decaying. So many trees growing. Right, so I've been pretty busy in this house, it has to be said, because I've dismantled everything. This has helped my carpentry skill get up. Hoodie, a closed umbrella. Oh, that was a cabinet. What we got over here? Planks. Still got some cabinets here, look. Dish towels. Good for drying yourself. What was that? What was that? Nothing there. Just knives, matches. Can opener. Nothing there, nothing there. Scrap wood, broken glass. You can actually pick broken glass up, but I've no idea what you would use it for at the moment. Lane's Auto magazine. Obviously no one in this house was a smoker. What's here? Handbag and a clutch bag and some long socks. Foundation mate, a toothbrush. Scrap wood. Perfume. Eau de parfum. Nothing in those boxes. I don't remember there being nothing in those boxes before. Striped t-shirts. Scrap wood. Right, okay. Alright, so now there. This is bad. Right, so we've got some dirty sheets, dirty rags here, which we're just going to drop them on the floor because I don't need them. Still carrying the water can. Right. Let's just follow the road around. Oh, gunshot. It's one of the meta events to try and attract the zombies to your location. Which it certainly has, because there's one just there. Whoa, yeah, steady on. One down. Two down. Whew. Some actual excitement. Good grief. Let's create a salad for random vegetables. Getting hungry and thirsty. It's always good to keep the old mood. How many? Oh, it's just the one. That's handy. Oh. And that just broke my spear. That's bad. Right, now this is bad now, because I now don't have a weapon. I don't think. I've got my hunting knife. I'm not very good with hunting knives. Did you ever play any of the series of Left 4 Dead? Whereas they had the what they referred to as the director, and it would spawn massive hordes of zombies to throw at you. It kind of felt like that just for a minute. Yeah, I played Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. It kind of got a bit samey, to be honest. So I didn't really stick with it. I played through and played some multiplayer with it. I never did play as a zombie. Believe it or not, I'm actually officially lost. Alright, so I actually visited that house. There's a house to the north where we are from here. It's actually getting late. Getting dark. Look at all the trees. It's just wrong. Ah, here we go. This is my supply of planks. Again, I've been really handy in this area. I'm dismantling everything. Trying to get them bits and pieces up. But no cigarettes. You just saw cigarettes on the ground. Oh, hey! Welcome. I saw coffee. Metal timbers, coffee. Not seeing any. Bizarre as it is, I'm playing a game hunting for cigarettes. It's just weird. It's funny but weird, all the same. Maybe it was let's check over here. Yeah, not seeing any cigarettes. Lots of coffee. Dish towels, butter knives, can openers. Sheet metal from the fridge and the oven that I dismantled. Lipstick. Doorknobs, scrap woods. Knelt in there. You would have thought someone would have a secret stash somewhere, wouldn't you? Dogs are going mad. I'll tell you what, I've got an idea. It's not a very good idea, but it's an idea all the same. I'm going to head back to base, have something to eat, go to bed. I'm going to snag one of the cars, and I'm actually going to drive. And I don't know why I didn't think of this before. I'm actually going to drive over to the fire station, because I bet you there's cigarettes there. Plus I can pick up another spear. Another homemade spear. First line of defence. So, Kitalia, thank you for joining the channel. Thank you for commenting and joining on the chat. That's fantastic for you to join us. Thank you to everyone who's joined on the chat today. It's been fantastic. Oh, spears. Need a spear. Never go to bed without a spear. Crafted spear. Let's pick one that's in decent condition. We'll use that. Equip both hands. I'll have to see about creating some more. I'm running out of spears. Right, let's eat one of my lovely roasts that I've previously cooked. Still got some for tomorrow as well. And then let's hit the hay. Sleep. Right. Let's put the crafted spear in my number 1 slot. Let's have a drink. I think I'll use one of my hot wild cards for this. Don't think this is still attached. No, it's not. So we will take the police vehicle, which I think actually still has. Why is it locked? Let me in. Oh, it's not because it's something on the seat. No. Oh, it is locked. The only reason it's not locked is there we go. Hot wired. Got half a tank of petrol. Oh, hello. So there are quite a few zombies around. They're just not around my house, which is a bit odd, I suppose. They all seem to be over this sort of side, which I'm not complaining about. Dodge the zombies. Try not to damage my beautiful police car, which I currently, in my last session where of hot wire wheels, I've finally got all of the bits and pieces that I needed to actually nearly broke. Nearly turn it off. Now, last time I was here, I was inundated with Zeds, even though there was no obvious way of them getting in. It's like they'd spawned in the toilet. It was highly irregular. They all are. Look. And yeah, firefighters, look, they're all firefighters in the fire station. They must have been respawns. See, look, there's my previously broken crafted spear. Right. Cigarettes! Knew it! There we go. Grab some. Let's see if there are any more whilst we're here. Actually, I'm going to grab the pepper and the salt as well. Let's see what else we've got here that we can make really good. Because I have absolutely looted Rosewood for everything that I could possibly find. Okay, so there's a red digital watch. We can dismantle that. That's all that they're good for. But you can't dismantle the classic watches. You can only wear them. Now the digital watches are useful because you can actually set an alarm. Now if you're starting off through the game and you're watching, you can watch the Life and Living channel, and that will give you some experience. If you catch the showings at 6 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, 6 o'clock at night, you will passively gain experience in about 4 different skills, including trapping and fishing and carpentry and cooking. Let's see what else we've got here. Do we have any more cigarettes? Still got some food kicking around. Grab salt. So I'm grab salt and honey. Not particularly worried about anything else. We've got plenty of other supplies. I think that might be it. Let's go and check out in here. Lots of there's nothing else in there, I don't think. There was a gorilla thingy. No, okay, right, fine. Let's go check out some of the other bits and pieces. Let's see if these... okay. There we go. We will wear a new pair of pants. I was after some new trousers. There we go. New trousers. Need those. Right, what do these other fire personnel? Smoke. No, they don't. Damn it. Right, okay. So let's have a quick look in the lockers. An umbrella and a school bag. This is disappointing for a fire station. That's nothing. Quick nose around downstairs. Looks like I say I've previously ignored things like that. Oh, scrap metal propane tank safety glasses. Useful. Didn't know that was there. Even though I frequented this place quite a long time. Walkie-talkie. Okay. Some more lockers over here. I'm slightly disappointed in the lack of smoking done by firefighters in this station. There's a good stock of metal here, actually. There's no desk in there. Bleach. It's a gym. There's nothing. Not gonna be anything. Oh, right, here we go. Desks. Mugs. Nothing. Nothing. Razor rubber band. So the new map actually is quite useful because if you've got a pen and an eraser, so pen, blue pen, let's put those in there. What you can do is if you use the map, you can actually annotate the map. So I think over here, yeah, so I've got fire truck. I actually found there's a fire truck there, which I'm actually intending to go get at some point, but it was surrounded by zombies. But over here I had a car stash, but I wasn't able to delete it or remove it because I didn't have an eraser. There we go, job done. But to put markings on there, you need a pen. To take them off, you need an eraser. Yada yada. Fairly obvious, I think. That one. Oh dear, this could be bad. Well, I've actually found some cigarettes, so I'll... I think we can head back. Not entirely sure wearing high-vis trousers has an effect on your stealth abilities. Glow in the dark, that's useful. Great, that's what you want in the zombie apocalypse. So zombie dodgems. I have to say this car is actually reasonably quiet. I don't know how much noise this is generating, but this is my stop just there. Right, let's make some fly killer. Excuse me. I did just hear that, didn't I? Okay. Not seeing any Zeds. Shut the door anyway. I'm sure we'll find them sooner or later. Spray can. I knew picking one of those spray cans up was going to be useful. Let's have a drink first because I'm absolutely starving. Let's eat a roast because I'm also very hungry. Right, now where's that spray? Empty gardening spray can. There we go. Right, let's make... Do I need water? Farming. Oh no! I need 5 lots of cigarettes. Not just one. Oh my god. That's a lot. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. I guess I'm hunting for more cigarettes at a later date. That's not good at all. At least I don't need to water my plants. But I do need to keep an eye out for more cigarettes. Oh my god. Didn't realise it actually took quite so many. All I can say is that's rubbish. Guess I'm still on the hunt for cigarettes then. Oh, this looks interesting. What's going on here? Harvest, okay. And that's the one that's got the fly problem. Yeah, part 2. Well, at least that's the only one that's got a fly problem. Disease, yes. Okay, fine. Well, we'll let that one go to seed then. In fact, I might let those 2 go to seed. Well, everything else seems to be going well. So let's drop the watering can there. Don't need the watering can. And I guess I'm going for a 12 change of underwear trip around town. see if I can find cigarettes. I guess the next best place is the police station and some of the houses out the back of the fire station. But that's 2 hours of solid Project Zomboid. Thank you very much for everybody getting on the chat and for commenting. As always, let's check out the traps. This trap's actually been sprung. So we check the trap and we've got some dead rat. So we can butcher the small animal and we end up with some rodent meat. Fantastic. There we go. That goes in my fridge along with all my other stuff. And I can create roasts from that, stews from that, and combat my unhappiness. But yeah, fantastic. So thank you very much to Supertone Man, to Kitalia, to SB, to Tony Sanchez, to Joe Lemmy as well for joining us on the chat today. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch my videos and join me live and get on the chat. To anyone else, please get on the chat and ask some questions, get involved. Don't forget to like and subscribe to both YouTube and Twitch. Descriptions in links below. I'm actually known as Ven_UK on Twitch. Follow Savvy Gadgetz on Facebook and Twitter because I do post other things on there. Pictures of games that I'm playing at the moment, and currently during the week I'm playing Osiris New Dawn because I kind of like those survival crafty games as well. But until next week, thank you very much. Have a wonderful week, and I will hopefully be live streaming. I wasn't able to yesterday at 1 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. I didn't just do Twitch for that because I wasn't feeling very well yesterday. I couldn't sit up, let alone sit at a desk. So yeah, and then join me next week at 1 o'clock for more Project Zomboid for Cigarettes, The Hunt Part 2. And till then, have a wonderful week. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share the love of Savvy Gadgetz. But until then,